Hello everyone, my name is Mariah and I'm currently a Peace Corps volunteer in Ghana, which is in West Africa, and I'm here to sing Amy's praises on the work that she recently did for my mom and I and our trip to South Africa. And so to start off, Africa has always been a dream of mine. I'm very big into animal conservation. I really love the environment. I love humanitarian work. So Peace Corps has always been a dream of mine, but the need when I was entering Peace Corps about 2 or 3 years ago now, was in West Africa. And that doesn't have a lot of the large animals that I was looking for, but I went where the need was. Don't regret it at all. I absolutely love where I am. I love Ghana. I love the people. I love the work I do, so I have zero regrets with that. But my mom approached me and was saying, hey, Mariah, I'm visiting you anyway in Ghana, so let's go to one of these other countries. She's always wanted to do safari too. So I was like, absolutely, let's go on a safari. While you're in Africa, you're over here, we might as well do it. And as a Peace Corps volunteer who is apparently afraid of nothing anymore, was like, I'll schedule it. I got it. I can handle this. I'll make it cheap. I'll make it fun. I'll make it relaxing. That didn't happen. I am in a rural community here, so I don't have service to be looking all these things up. I don't have the knowledge of these other countries because I've only been to Ghana. And if you've been to Africa, you know that West Africa, North Africa, East Africa, South Africa are entities in their own, but so are each individual country. So I didn't have the knowledge to be really doing this, managing within our own budget. So it went terribly, and that's where Amy came in, and she absolutely changed everything. As cheesy as it sounds, she really did make a dream safari for my mom and I. That's such a special experience to have with your mom. Not many people say they can have that experience, let alone alone with their mom. So it was such a fun girls' trip. And, you know, it was just so incredible. She has incredible respect for local communities, for the local wildlife, the environment. She knows the regions, the activities, the experiences. She knows all of it to make it a meaningful trip. Respecting the local communities and the animal welfare there is really important for me as an animal conservationist and as a Peace Corps volunteer. I've seen a lot of what happens when tourism impacts communities. I've seen communities being pushed out. I see communities suffering because these companies want to come in and do tourism, and it ends up impacting negatively the people in that area. So Amy, with her incredible knowledge and frankly very caring heart, schedules these experiences around making sure it's good for the community and it's good for you. She's incredible at that, and that just made it all even better, because I didn't feel gross about myself. I didn't feel like I was hurting anyone by doing this. I felt really good about myself, and it was just such a fun experience. It was perfect relaxation, adventure, all of the above. I have a hard time sitting down sometimes, but it was a perfect mix of all of it. The safaris were really fun. You go really early in the morning, you kind of take a little siesta in the early afternoon, and then you go again in the evenings, and it was just absolutely perfect. And there were a lot of things that she put in there that I wouldn't have known by myself. She sat down and took the time to get to know my mom and I on a more personal level, to kind of gain our interest, what we want to get out of it. And she used that very, very skillfully, and used her knowledge and her resources in South Africa to make this perfect trip for us. So for example, my mom and I, as I have said, love animals, love conservation. So I'm actually wearing the hat. We did EcoTraining, and that was something that Amy brought up. I didn't know about it. My mom didn't know about it. We never would have found it on our own. But not only did she bring it up, but it's like this fun course you can take, so you learn, they train you how to track animals. You learn about all the different species of birds. You're learning about the animals, you're learning about the environment. You're not just going around and looking at the animals and moving on. It's a really interactive experience, and it absolutely was not something that we would have had if we didn't go through Amy, as well as many other things. And another point having to do with EcoTraining as well was that she fully stayed within our budget, which was something that amazed both my mom and I, because every place that we went was very nice. It was very accommodating. Didn't feel like it was our budget, but it was just so wonderful because she stayed within our budget. And again, with EcoTraining, she used her own resources to ask the people within that corporation, because she knows them, to make a shorter course so we can afford it. And that was just such a wonderful thing to do, because it was so fun. We had such an amazing time at this place. We loved the people there. We loved our guide. We loved the area we were in. It was just all so wonderful. And again, it wouldn't have happened without the help of Amy. So that was just so wonderful to do. We never felt stressed. Everything was handled for us, from the big things to the really small things, like car transfers, which is not an experience that I thought that I would ever need or want or enjoy. But not having to worry about anything on a trip was just absolutely, it just made the trip. It made the trip because my mom wasn't stressed, I wasn't stressed, we can just enjoy. And that was a really big thing about it because these are lifetime trips. And especially, you know, my mom has been looking forward to a trip like this her whole life. As short as my life has been, I've been looking forward to it my whole life. This is a once in a lifetime experience, and to not have to worry about the tiny details just like elevated the experience like tenfold. And you know, if I had done it by myself, my mom and I would have been fighting with each other 24/7 trying to figure out our transportation and all these things. But going through Amy, I never felt stressed. I never felt like I was having a hard time with anything. She was always there. She stayed out of our trip. She wasn't contacting us a lot, but she was always there. So if I texted something and I said, hey, I have a question about this, almost immediate response. If she was there on her phone, she responded. And that was really reassuring because that added to the no stress part, is that if something went wrong, then she was there. Not that anything went wrong, it didn't. I was mostly texting her pictures of like, hey, look at me and my mom, like with this like rhino. And of course she would respond, and she loves that you have a good time on the trips that she creates. She wants you to have a good time. So her being there was just like amazing. She gave us our space, but she was there with us in heart, and I could tell. Amy really gave my mom and I a once in a lifetime experience. We learned, we relaxed, we explored, and again, as cheesy as it sounds, I really created a memory that I'm gonna hold in my heart for the rest of my life.